Hey guys, Dev Horn here again with
Mike Van Orden.
Mike. How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good, man.
Me too. Hey, you know what? We have an interesting follow-on topic. We just did a video on 2023 is the new normal, and we kind of talked about it just a tiny bit, but we're going to talk now about marketing because some changes have come about in the marketing space as we've gone through the last few years. And so we just kind of want to talk to you about that a little bit. Of course, your mileage may vary as we talk about any of these marketing strategies. But, basically, I think the key that I wanted to touch on in this short video, Mike, about marketing was that the shift has gone from kind of just putting your message out there. Think of, on the traditional side, think of like a billboard. Or on the digital side, think of like Google, pay-per-click. Somebody says, we buy houses, sell my house fast. And they see your ad, they click on it, can cost you a lot of money, and they come on into your form or call you on the phone or whatever. You didn't choose who did that. You didn't choose the person that saw your billboard and call you. You didn't choose the person that typed in certain keywords and then
it's just
clicked on your ad.
very random.
Yeah, and in the past, here's what I saw kind of happen over the last few years. In the past, it was just us that was sell your house fast for cash. Then Open Door and what's the other one?
Like
OfferPad,
there's so many
Redfin.
Yeah, there's so many.
Zillow was buying houses for a while. Yeah. All of a sudden, all these other people were saying, we'll pay cash for your house, right? And so now, if you think about it, at this point, when people kind of are looking for cash, they're not necessarily a motivated seller.
Right.
And so
they're basically wondering, how much can I get for this house? So what's this house worth? Right?
So here's what I think happened. I think this broke in 2022. And I'm not saying that pay-per-click is not still viable. In fact, there's still a few guys that in certain markets, pay-per-click it's cheaper than it was last year. But what happened last year, what people were kind of telling me is, hey, I'm starting to get a lot more of these folks come into my funnel, clicking on my ads, those expensive clicks, filling out my forms, and they have a great house. They're not in a hurry. The house it's just not selling. So in 2022, as we know, as the rates went up, they kind of hit the brakes on the housing market. And so people that were trying to sell their house at that time, where'd they go? They went to Google, started typing things in, clicking on our ads and such. And so I even saw several of the larger players when We Buy Houses actually pause their pay-per-click in the fall and winter of last year. Now, I will say that I noticed a few of those have now, as we came into the springtime, they were back in the game of being on Google. So it kind of goes along, I guess, with that new normal thing that we're talking about.
It does, and I think that right now that it took a while for sellers to realize that the market has changed. I think investors knew this pretty shortly after the interest rate started to go up. But it takes a while for things to permeate and get into, down to the homeowner level where they're not wanting, not only retail for their home, but another 20, 30, 50, 100 grand.
Yeah.
So I think that it's starting to, that homeowner now is starting to realize that, well, geez, maybe my house is not worth what I thought it was because it's not selling. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I think that is.
It's a wake up.
It's a reality check. Yeah. So what we started to see, and again, this is kind of, we're talking strategy here with you guys, and some of these strategies are going to be more proven or tested than others. That's kind of being on the bleeding edge of marketing. Sometimes you get arrows in your back.
Yeah, that's right.
But basically what I've seen, has been a shift towards what I call list-driven strategies. And in the past, what that would have meant is like outbound calling, outbound texting, those kinds of things, which there's challenges to those, right? Because people can be on the do not call list, or now there's regulation in many states and the country over texting and things like that. So you really need someone to have opted in to send them a text message or call them on the phone. They need to have said, I want you to do that. But with list-driven strategies, there are other options. And
I agree. And I just think that the big quandary with that type of marketing is it is very random. It's relying on purely volume, the numbers. And, the investors I've talked to, I mean, they've just seen the numbers dwindle, when they're doing the mass email, mass texting, cold calling, they outsource to the Philippines or wherever. And it worked good for a while, but now it just doesn't seem to be as effective as the more targeted style of marketing that you're talking about.
I guess what I thought would be news to share kind of on the marketing front is what we are working on now with several of the We Buy Houses licensees in their local markets is a strategy where we're taking the list, and it could be, absentee owners with high equity and certain price ranges, certain zip codes or whatever. You make your list, most likely to find motivated sellers in this list. And then instead of just mailing to them, which we still like,
sure,
we're old school, we still like direct mail.
Yeah, of course.
But instead of just mailing to them, what you can now do with programmatic advertising platforms is you can now give your list to that platform and have them go find the IP addresses, the devices, the services that all these people are using, and now interject in our case, the WeBuyHouses.com advertisement into them watching television, like on
and I think there's a lot of like demographic, psychographic, income. I mean, there's so many things that they can include.
All kinds of targeting.
That it's like that encompasses more or less the seller that you're looking for. So it's not just scattering out and just hoping.
Well, we're now able to reach people that were on our list on their television, their smartphone, their tablet, their desktop. We can reach them whether they're on a website, streaming video service, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. In fact, some of the strategies I'm real excited about is we've kind of figured out a workaround around Facebook's, some of the Facebook rules make it hard to
very
use
hard
Facebook
to target.
for retargeting.
I mean, you can't target, and it's like, although you may not have the volume of, people reaching out, it's more the quality. It's that whole, quality over quantity, and I'd rather have quality any day. If for no other reason, your time constraints. I mean, there's so many hours in the day, so why not funnel that investment to a more targeted list? It just makes more sense.
Look, I think at the heart of it, that's kind of the trend that we saw, and that we're helping our guys to test, to evaluate, and to roll out. And so it's a pretty exciting time, I think, for marketing. It's everybody's talking about AI and all this stuff that's going on in the world today. Well, I actually think just our ability as marketers to get more targeting, to go after a list of people, and to reach them wherever they are on whatever device they're on.
Agreed.
That's pretty cool.
And and look, another thing too is there's always going to be people with challenges, all right? And that's going to happen no matter what the interest rate is. And if you can be more specific in finding someone who might have the potential of needing your service, I mean, it just makes sense. And that's what we're able to do now. Which is pretty exciting.
It is. It's pretty cool. So if you're a part of WeBuyHouses.com, you don't know what I'm talking about, hey, give me a call. Let's talk about it. I can catch you up.
For sure.
But if you're not, just wanted you guys to know that this is the kind of thing that we're always out there on the leading edge, hopefully not the bleeding edge, and trying to bring back strategies that you guys can employ to win in your local market.
Because look, I mean, it's when you win, we win, and we've always been results driven. And that's why, especially Deb is always seeking other methods of marketing and advertising to get the biggest bang for the buck, as they say. And you're very fervent about that, about looking and seeking those sources and having success, I might add. So
Well, thank you,
anyway,
Mike.
kudos.
All right.
Now you're going to be walking around
With
with your
that,
chest out all day.
yes, now that I am the master of all things.
The master of all.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Yes.
We've got more topics coming at you
So,
and more. We're going to talk a lot more about marketing. So with
So
that,
stay tuned.
we'll say stay tuned.
All right.
And
Take care.
have
Bye.
a good day.
Hey guys, if you're not part of WeBuyHouses.com, you probably should be, or at least get some information about what we do. So it's very easy to get a hold of me. My direct number is 817-435-4446, 817-435-4446, or you can stop it.
Your phone number is going to be right here
I know,
in
but,
post.
But I like hearing my voice. Let me
Okay,
finish.
go ahead.
So if you want to email me, you can email me. I know it's back there, but it's mike@webuyhouses.com, mike@webuyhouses.com. Would love to chat for a few minutes, see if you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you. And that's a wrap. That's it. Thanks for watching.
Take care, guys.
See you next time.
Any